Hello and welcome back to Data to Decisions. In the recent videos, we've been building this report from raw data step by step. In the previous videos, we saw how we can connect to the raw data on the website, collect the data, clean it up to make it ready for reporting, and then we built the necessary extra columns we wanted. We also built all the metrics that we need. We built an interactive slicer which will dynamically change the values in a column. So we've done all that. We've even built the data bars in the final report. Now we will continue and develop the rest of the report. We'll start with the interactive map visual now. Let's get started. So here we are. This is where we left the last video, where we have all the data bars and then the calculations automatically come through. Now it's time to build the map visual. So go back to the data. This is where we left our slicer. And this is where the value column automatically and dynamically responds to the slicer selection. This is what we want to create the map visual. So what I'm going to do now is click on any cell outside, go and hit insert, and then choose the maps, filled map. There'll be absolutely nothing there. That is okay. Now I'm going to right click, select data. I'm going to edit the series and the values. I'm going to select the values in this column and then okay. For x-axis, I'm going to go to the first column A, which is where all our data is. Okay. So for some reason it didn't pick up. Okay, that's an error. I've selected A2 to A53, hit OK, and then this is P2 to P53. Okay, so now I think we're good. In this exercise, we're going to just use the numeric values to build a gradient style map. We're not going to do a category. Maybe in a future video, we'll do that. So I'm going to hit OK here and OK here. Let's go and see our map. There we go. So we have a map. Now let's see if it automatically reflects to the, okay, I know that we're not able to see the numbers, but we can at least see that it's reacting. So we have connected the slicer to the map, which is our objective. Now both objects are selected. I'm going to or Control X, and which will remove it from here and take us into the report tab. Control V, and this brings us here. Great. Now we are ready to set it up. So we can set up the slicer first. What I'm going to do now is I want 3 columns of buttons. And so because we have 3 measures, and then the width I'm going to put as 7. And then the height could be 1, or actually 1 is, okay, 1 is, that's okay. And maybe it was too big. 0.3. Okay. Now the map visual will go below, and I will make it also 7 because I want them to be aligned. Height will make it 5. Okay, so now we have select both also, and I've done that, and I'm going to go to shape format where you can actually click on align left. We'll make sure that the two objects are aligned. Now, a little bit of formatting again on the slicer. Because we're doing a lot with the blue colors, I'm going to stay to the same theme, and I'm going to choose blue. And if I don't want the border, which is the kind of the design approach that I'm going with, I want these objects to blend with the background. So if I'm going to go and modify the slicer, I can go to the slicer menu. I know that I'm working with this light turquoise style. I'm going to duplicate it and it'll give me a new option. So I'm going to call it custom slicer. And then I can change for the whole slicer, the background fill, I want it to match my background color. And then the border, I don't want any border, let's say. That's it. Hit OK. Hit OK. Nothing changed. Okay, so I'm going to select the slicer again, and that's because even though we created a new custom slicer, that's not been applied yet. So we go back here and click on custom to apply that slicer. There we go. So it wasn't that bad. So we got it and it still works. Wonderful. Now let's do some formatting on the map visual. So we can always, there are some pre-built stuff available. choose, again, this is personal preference. You choose the designs that make sense in your context. What I'm going to do is to go to Format Plot Area, and then I don't want anything to be filled, and then go back to the chart area. Let me actually do a fill with my background color. So that filled it out, and I don't want the border. So go back to the border and say no line. So now it looks a lot more blended, and I want to format the legend to go to the top. Great. And then because the title is not needed, it's very obvious what we are doing here. So there's no, in my opinion, there's no need for a title. We're just showing the measure by state. I'm looking for a way to, let's say, go back to the series and then call it, I'm just going to put measure. Okay, so now it says measure. Okay, wonderful. So now we are making progress. I want to data label, so I'm right clicking and choosing data labels. And now the labels up here. Can click on any of the labels, and if I want it to be slightly bigger, I update it. Wonderful. Now I do want to add the name of the state, so I can go to Format Data Labels by right clicking, and I can say show the category name, and in a new line, show me the value. Okay, so now you will start seeing, let me zoom in a little bit. So now you'll start seeing the name of the state as well as the value of the measure. Now, I do want to change, right click and format series, change the color. So the way you can do that would be go into the format pane series measure. The measure is the name that we gave to the series. If you have given a different name, that'll appear in the dropdown. And I'm going to go and say best fit only. So it automatically only shows where there is a good fit. And then for some reason, they're all appearing twice. And let me, okay. So right click, format data labels. Let's say I don't want the category name. And I'm gonna now change the color. So series color, as I said before, we're dealing with the gradient color option here. In a future video, I'll work on how we can do categories like multiple colors, like 3 or 4 different colors. But now we're dealing with a gradient which goes from light to low value to the highest value. We can do 3 emoji colors. I'm going to just do 2 at this time. And if you do 3, you can choose 3 colors, and then automatically the lowest value, middle value, and highest value will be taken. So if I want to just do the lowest to the greatest, I can do this. I'm going to choose the light blue and then go all the way to the darker blue. So because that's the theme that I'm working with, I will choose that. And now when I click on it, you'll see that the numbers are changing. And so it's reacting, so it's working well. And if, for example, the unemployment percentage, Nevada is a lot darker blue and it's 5.4, and then the lighter ones like North Dakota is 1.9. So you can clearly see some of the states where, Vermont 2.1. So the lower unemployment percentage states are lighter in color, and then the higher is darker. Um, Again, this is just an example. In your context, based on the metrics that you're dealing with, choose the colors appropriately. And now we have the dynamic visual. We are now ready to do the top 10 and bottom 10 tables and kind of finalize the layout of this report.